All right, it looks like we're in. All right, here we go. Howdy do, folks. If you're over there on Facebook, I just did a 32-second Facebook Live video to tell folks that I will not be Facebook Live, that I'll be Facebook Live on YouTube, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, and that kind of makes me a dick. I am excited to be here tonight, and even though it's my living room, this is episode 42 of streaming live from my living room, Saturdays at 8, only on YouTube. I'm all over the place, but that's why you love me. So let us start with my welcome speech. It is January 23rd, 2021, episode 42, and I'm not exactly sure if it applies anymore, but the past week or so, it has been palindrome dates, where the date is the same forwards as it is backwards, like the thing on Monty Python when they said Bolton. He said, it's a palindrome. He said, no, that doesn't work. The palindrome of Bolton would be not love. So I don't even know if it works anymore. Keith told me on Keith's show over there on ZZO Thursday, and I actually thanked him for this information because I kind of like the idea that there's something cool like that happens, but not so often, that doesn't involve me having to go outside in the cold of winter at 3 o'clock in the morning and look up to the stars, as it were, right here. It's always like a weird thing, and people get all excited about it, and they go, oh man, you gotta see it. It only happens every 300 years. Like the Mars and Jupiter are gonna line up perfectly under Orion's belt to create like cosmic balls, and if you don't see it now, you'll never see it. And then of course I gotta go see it, and I don't know what I'm looking for, so then you gotta find the panhandle and then go this way and that way, and then you go out and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and it's fucking cloudy, and then you go, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out. So it's welcome. It's palindrome week. I think it's come and gone. And again, this is a politically free zone, although I am making some exceptions because there's some crazy shit been going on in the world here. If you're feeling alone and nuts, I think that's sort of how we're supposed to be feeling right now, because we're still nuts, we're still a little bit crazy. And introduce yourself in the chat, say what you're drinking, where you're from, say hello to people, all this and that. I'm going to pull my iPad in here a teeny little bit closer, and here's my public service announcement. If you are getting your world information from Fox News, you need an intervention from family that fucking loves you, because I'm here to tell you again, this is not open for political debate. If you are still holding on to some hope that Fox News told you that somehow we did not get a new president, it's time to grow the fuck up. I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just saying you're not 10 years old, and your father is not the man in the moon. Somebody has to fucking tell you. The Eagles won't be in the Super Bowl this year. That's a fact. So now we move on to some more important shit. Like, what if you have shitty internet? Here's what I learned. All right, check this shit out. We know that I'm streaming mobile. We know that's a whole problem when I have a GoFundMe to hardwire shit and all this and that. This is an Ethernet cord, and even if you have wireless Wi-Fi network, wherever your internet comes in, if it comes in through a cable modem, the Ethernet cord has to plug into your router, and your router, these kind of things plug into anything that streams. Now, when you have a moment, don't do it now. These Ethernet cords have numbers on them. And if your Ethernet cord doesn't have at least a 5E on it or a 6, you have shitty internet. And the reason I know this is because I have tired old whore Ethernet cords. I got a 2 and a couple of 4s, and I got to replace them, and then things should zip a little faster. So check out your Ethernet cords when you get a chance, but don't do it now because you probably missed something. A couple of things of a personal nature here. This cat, this furry nut cat, was featured in a couple of my episodes, and it's still in my performance studio / living room because ADD, OCD, MOUSD. The reason we can't put things away in drawers and shit is because we're afraid once it's in the drawer, we'll never find it again, that it'll be lost forever. And this thing is getting out of here tonight because it doesn't look it from now, but it scares the fuck out of me. This thing has looked like an actual real cat like 19 fucking times in the last couple of weeks. It's even scared Sparky, scared Mary when I take it back upstairs. She won't be fucking happy about this thing going back up there. It scares the fuck out of me. Sometimes I come around here late and it's just sitting like this. I'm like, how the fuck did the upstairs cat get down in the living room? What the fuck's going on here? So this thing's, take a good look. That thing's getting out of here. Now, back to me. All right. Okay. So I've been streaming. I've been zooming. I do have a GoFundMe for a MacBook Pro so I don't have to stream wireless. And that sounds, in the scope of things, the more I think about it, it's the dumbest fucking charity that there ever was. I did a Zoom show last night, and it was for kids with cancer. But I think comedians are splitting up the money, so that's a little shaky on that deal, too. I don't really know how they're going to dice that up. We're proud to offer you this check for $3.87. So in the scope of things, the MacBook Pro GoFundMe fundraiser, it's not even a thing. I want it. I want a hard wire, but I don't have the fast Ethernet cord to plug into that fucker yet. My career, I can do a lot more things with it, which brings me to this thing on my guest stream. They said, hey, that background theme you have is awesome. Is that a new theme on like Streamlabs, and is it downloadable? No, it is a shower curtain from upstairs in the bathroom, and after I'm done streaming, I got to get this sucker back up there in case my wife wants to take a shower. If she's up there and this thing's down here, she might go nutsy Fagin and then perform the shower scene from Psycho right here in this living room. So no, it is not a downloadable theme. That's something I could do with a MacBook Pro. So the donations is coming in. Feed us, keep the electric on. The GoFundMe ones are specific to that. I'm my own charity, so I don't really know exactly how I will split things up. And again, a terrible thing happened to me last night. You don't have the slightest idea how horrible it is to be me, to live inside my own fucking mind. When I do these things, I hope with all my heart that I can bring you some entertainment and some joy in life. I really, absolutely do. Yes, I'm trying to make money, but as nuts as the world is, I love performing. I love to hear people laugh. I really try to present a good show. And when I do a guest set on Zoom, I prepare. It's a whole to-do. I have notes, and I can figure out what I want to do this way and that. And when I do guest appearances, many times my time gets cut. It's just a scheduling thing. And that fucks up, like, the big finale. I can't play my Aqualung if I figure out ahead of time how my show will be, and then they say, you're only getting 20 minutes instead of 30. Fuck me in a bucket of goo. Sparky's beeping. She is definitely connected to this story. So when you Zoom and you have 6 or 7 comedians are in this teeny tiny little phone, last night, from how I look in seeing my phone on my show, I thought, they thought that I sucked. And I was fucking devastated. And the one guy, I had to see this all night, he had a microphone and he seemed like he was ready to just fucking jump in any minute and say some shit. Sparky, in the house, welcome. It's important because you're part of the story. So I made myself crazy and I thought I sucked because there's no way of knowing if you're funny or not. And I couldn't hear these other comedians, all this happy horse shit. So I made myself completely basket case nuts about 1 o'clock in the morning. And because I am a dick, I went and I scrolled through the replay and put the plugs in. The comedians that were watching me were laughing their asses off, and the guy with a microphone had it so when he laughed, it would be part of the broadcast, which was really fucking incredibly awesome and professional of him because Zoom needs extra laughter. Now, Sparky is on my shoulder. You all know Sparky. You all love Sparky. Sparky has given up on standing on the microphone. She's like, fuck that. Ever since the Christmas tree came in, Sparky on the mic stand and the microphone days are done. She loves being on the shoulder. So before I went into my Zoom show last night, and I had to wait longer than I should have, and I was in the waiting room instead of the green room. Who the fuck knows what. So I just, when it was my turn, they introduced me, and I just went, and Sparky was on my shoulder, and I am so used to having this amazing family member on my shoulder when I stream live, I don't even think about it, and I didn't reference Sparky. I didn't mention in my live Zoom why there was cockatiel on my shoulder here. And then when I, later on in the night, and actually I could hear it in the Zoom, about 10 minutes in, somebody said in the chat, they said, okay, is nobody going to say anything about that fucking bird that's on his shoulder? And I didn't hear that, so I didn't tell them nothing. But somebody in the Zoom started saying, yeah, there's a fucking cockatiel on his shoulder. And this whole thing went on all night long. And they were going fucking nuts. And then finally, this got back to me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Sparky. And then she streams live with me every Saturday night. And I can't run around like I always do because she's liable to try to take a drink out of my eye. And that's how I had solved the mystery of why pirates wear a patch. It's not from badass warrior fighting. It's just that they couldn't keep their head still when their bird was on their shoulder like that. It took my eye out. So that had them laughing their balls off. And it never occurred to me that I would have to explain Sparky. And one of the older Italian comedian who was doing the microphone thing that I thought hated me, afterwards, the comedians all say how wonderful you were and all that shit. Here's what he said to me. He goes, to tell you the truth, Ray, I didn't even listen to one thing you said. I couldn't take my eye off that fucking bird the whole night. I was staring at that fucking bird the whole night on your shoulder, wondering if you even knew that fucking bird was on there. So, hopefully, you all know how lucky you are to have Sparky in the house. When we guest Zoom again, I guess I won't have to introduce her. So there we go with all that fun stuff. The GoFundMe's getting there. I'm about at almost about right around $1,000 of 1,500. And like I say, if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, but it's very important that you know that's a thing for my career. It's not like I'm trying to do a fundraiser to get myself a fucking TV or a PlayStation 95. That is for my career to do stuff for me, for you, for the universe. So that's what's going on there. Because it does seem like, hey, we're raising money to buy Raymond a pool table. What the fuck's going on with that? That is not what that is. Now, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, okay. So, episode 42, okay, so episode 1 was last March. I like to point this out. So I'm starting to plan my pandemic anniversary show, which I can't believe that's really going on. And I believe this. I talked to my main man Keith on radio about this Thursday. I believe the universe owes us, after the pandemic, a reboot of the Roaring '20s. Because when all this shit happened back then, and then it was over, they went fucking nuts. And they were doing all kinds of crazy Charleston dances, which I can't do right now. And flappers came out. And the Charleston, I'm not even not exactly sure how to do it, but the leg goes out this way weird, and then heel goes out that way weird. And the Charleston was actually banned for being too much of a sexual nature. So I leaf through my Kama Sutra, and the Charleston chapter must have been deleted from the Kindle version of the Kama Sutra that I have, because, or I must have got the revised edition, because it's fucking Charleston sex moves weren't in there. The only possible way, and also that it was causing injuries. People could get kicked in the nuts, and that's real. But the only way you could get a sexual injury from like the Charleston is if you had to pee and you did like a Charleston move to put your foot in a slipper to get to the bathroom, and you missed the slipper and accidentally kicked the dresser. That's the only way you could get a fucking injury like that. And so the Roaring '20s, we want to bring also back the flappers. Flappers were scandalous, basically attractive women with short skirts on, who liked to drink, curse, and seemed to be of a sexually promiscuous nature. And if they do bring flappers back with the reboot of the Roaring '20s, I will be wondering if they have curbside service. Just throwing that out there, since we're just planning this celebration of the new year coming. So we got all that going on. I've lost all track of time. The last weekend and this weekend now, like, typically I'm ready to go at 7 o'clock, and it's 2 minutes of 8. I have all my drinks. My wife gets me all these drinks. I got water here, I got smoothie, I got a throat tea, I got all this shit. I didn't drink any of it. This is how fucking crazy I am, because there's a lot of shit going on. I just found out my Ethernet cords are all tired old whores. I've got my notes here, but now the 2 notes that I have up, I have used. So now I have to go to my pile of notes. So I'm gonna make a decision here to take this note and just get rid of it. And that's gonna piss Sparky off. And I'm gonna put this here like this. And that reminds me here that I fucked up some of my Roaring '20s reboot, because I would like some of the phrases to come back, because some of the phrases of the Roaring '20s that I would love to have come back. I know what you're thinking is like, probably the Roaring '20s, they said like, fuck you in a bucket of goo and batshit balls. No, we can add those to the reboot of the Roaring '20s, but Hotsy Totsy, that was one. The bee's knees. Apparently that was slang for something really good or awesome, and I can't remember on any kind of marijuana or psychedelic mushroom trip or being really fucked up where I thought that bee's got fucking incredible knees. So I don't know what that's all about. Giggle water was what they called alcohol. I like that. Let's call it giggle water. But the one that I don't think should come back with the reboot of the Roaring '20s is movie theaters were called the petting pantry. How a girl would agree to go on a date with an asshole to the petting pantry is beyond me. I didn't even process what that meant right away. I was thinking, petting pantry, man, you can't even really bring dogs into movie theaters unless they're seeing eye dogs. But it was really not the woof woof. It was more the woof woof. Look out. So we don't really need to do that. So wish us all well for the reboot of the Roaring '20s. Random incoherent change of subject. I dumped the cable. I dumped all the shit. In a good way. I'm in a good shape, saved a lot of money. I'm trying to invest in this career and all this, that happy horse shit. Um, so if you're like us, we heat our house in increments as we are going to go into rooms. My daughter thought this. She calls it preheating. We're preheating like you would do an oven. We're preheating a room. If I know I'm going to take a shower, you go up 30 minutes, put the little space heater on. So in the bedroom, we don't really put the heat on upstairs because that's a fucking waste of money. So we have one of them little electric radiator heaters that plug in, and I guess there's oil in there. And when you first plug it in and it starts to cook up, it actually starts to cook up. It sounds like a little frying pan. You know, the peckerheads have those, and it just starts to. And you're tired and you lay down and you just put that fucker on. And then you start to hear, and as you start to fall asleep, what the fuck is my wife doing frying up sausages they're probably vegetarian sausages because I'm still vegetarian. But then I go, oh, it's that heater. But then when it starts to get going, our particular one, and now I'm on my third attempt at almost being asleep, it makes a sound that almost sounds like someone's driving a spike into my head, like random. It'll be like quiet, and then that'll come every so often. I'm surprised Sparky didn't hack me in the eye for that. So that adds to me probably an extra hour of trying to get to sleep at night while the heater pounds spikes into my head. No real point to that story either. I'm going to flip through a couple of things here that, in the hopes that I will be performing out in the world again sometime, some actual real material and stuff that I've been doing on my guest Zooms and all this and that. And one of the things was, it's a modern times fear for me. Let's see where it is now. One of my biggest fears through the pandemic, entertainment wise, is that I won't get my daily spin on Pokemon Go. Because if you get 7 days in a row, then all these fucking balls fly and gifts and presents and all kinds of weird shit, and then you level up this way and that. So if I have like 2 days of spin and then I miss a day, I don't give a fuck. But if I'm on day 6 spin and then I know 7's coming up and I can feel it, I'm all excited. And then like on a streaming day, that's when I forget. And if I spin after midnight and it goes 1 day streak, son of a fucking bitch, boy, does that fucking piss me off. And I'm thinking, I'm a fucking grown man and I'm pissed off because I didn't get my fucking 7 day spin. And then my wife and I, we send each other gifts. That's all we can really afford is the Pokemon Go gifts. So we're basically close to a stop. So all the gifts come from the same fucking stop all the time. But when we get to drive around, we try to spin like motherfuckers and get cute little ones from painted fire hydrants and all kinds of shit like that. But so when my wife sends me an awesome gift, Pokemon Go, then I go to open the gift, it will say, your bag is full. My fucking Pokemon Go bag item is full. Then I throw shit away that I don't need so I can get my gift. And it's exactly the same shit that I just threw away. So the point of that story is really that there's no point at all. But to the Zoom show that I spoke to the other night, not last night, I did one a few days ago, is that we need to stop scaring our geezers with technology, specifically Pokemon Go. The geezers are very upset about the Pokemon Go. The kids are walking around looking in their phones, they're going to get hit by cars. Only if they're fucking idiots, and that'll help weed out the flock a little bit. The same geezers who are worried about the Pokemon Go being a dangerous toy actually played with dangerous toys. Clackers, the most dangerous toy known to mankind. His clackers is 2 plastic porcelain balls, whatever the fuck they were, connected by a string, and he did this, and it clack, 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 and it clack, 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 and there was no winning with clackers. You could only lose, because when you didn't hear that clacking noise anymore, that means you took one in the eye or the nuts, game over. And then you'd hang those clackers up like on a doorknob or on the mirror of the truck. It's just looking badass. Never to clack another clack again. That's a dangerous toy. Super Bowl. That's another dangerous toy. Not these little pussy ones they have in the gumball machines. First, Super Bowl was a weapon of mass destruction. It was the size of a baseball. And if someone was chasing you and they wanted to beat the fuck out of you and you had a Super Bowl, you could stop running. Dude, I'm not that good at it, but I'm pretty good, and I'm going to hit it. It's going to hit the ground, and it's going to fly up, and it's going to hit you in the nuts and the eye, break your jaw, something. This motherfucker's going to take you down. And the Super Bowl, dangerous toy on the back of the package, encouraged children to stand in the street and try to bounce the Super Bowl over somebody's house. And it actually fucking worked. And they'd have a cartoon on the back, and it'd be the kid with the ball, and the dot would go dot, dot, dot down to the ground, and dot, 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 up, and the ball would fly over, and you do it. And that fucker would be gone. And whoever invented the Super Bowl is a rich motherfucker, because that was a one-use toy. When that worked, there's no way in hell you were going in that person's backyard looking for that Super Bowl. So you just run to the 5 and dime store, get yourself another fucking Super Bowl. That was a dangerous toy. Cap pistols, another very dangerous toy. It wasn't so much that the cap pistol was dangerous, it's just that it was a little bit boring. And the cap pistols gave us the technology for the self-sticking stamps, because cap pistols weren't that fun. I mean, you'd peel the thing off, and then you'd put it in there, and then you have to fucking do a little clerical work and do it again. So then how did we solve that? You took whole boxes of caps, like 5 rolls of them, put them on the sidewalk, and you got a big rock, and boom! I'm doing it calmly so Sparky doesn't go fucking nuts. And there was always one of your friends that's too stupid. He'd be leaning way down in there low, old one-eyed Pete, and nobody would warm him. I said, we better back off Pete there. He's a little close. What if his eye bursts into flames? Don't worry. We'll just shake up this Dr. Pepper and waterboard that bitch back to safety. That was a dangerous toy right there. And one that I remember that a lot of you folks probably did this. And that, it was such idiots we were. Did anybody ever try to make their own go-kart? And by go-kart, I mean like a stick figure car. We'd get boards, 2x4, one, and then another 2x4, like a T in the front, and another one in the back. And we'd pound nails in there, and then we'd go to the hardware store and get the axle and put some lawnmower wheels on there. And you'd sit, put a little seat for a little board for a seat, and then you'd roll it down a big fucking hill. No brakes. No real way to steer it, except you'd move your feet this way and that, and turn this way and that. Just a matter of time until you would fucking crash into it, something, and then you'd have to build that fucker again. No real point to that story. It's just that Pokemon Go is probably not nearly as dangerous as we are leading our geezers to believe. Also, a thing happened to me, how my brain works and why I can't get nothing done is that if you've been on the internet, let's see if I can find it here. Bear with me. Let's see here. Do not disturb. It's my phone. I can fucking disturb you if I want to. Put this in here. Look for this. Where am I? Somewhere it's in there. I know I did it. I don't know if any of you got involved in this, but I became obsessed to the point where I'm have to join like a meme anonymous. I cannot stop making Bernie Sanders memes. He's fucking everywhere. He's all over the fucking universe. That is the kind of publicity that my career could use. He just went and he sat with a fucking coat with mittens on, and he's trending. Millions of Bernies everywhere. Why couldn't it be me? Why couldn't I be sitting? I'm going to go out and sit with a fucking coat on and put fucking mittens on and see if I can fucking trend my ass all across the universe. And you can take the Bernie and fucking stick him into anything, and I can't. It's amazing. I can't stop seeing them. And I'm not even sick of it. And it's the Shining Twins standing there in the hall. And there's 2 fucking Bernies at the end of the thing. And then Danny's there on his bicycle going, oh, fuck me. I'm not driving down there to play with the 2 Bernies. Fuck me in a bucket of goo. They put Bernie Sanders in a fucking Batmobile. And there he's there. There's Batman. There's fucking Bernie Sanders. He's fucking everywhere. And I can't stop. And then I send them around to my family, and here's the problem. This beautiful woman on the other side of the curtain, she thought it up and asked me if I could do it. And I'm there, sure, I could probably do it. So, since I don't have a real computer, trying to edit any photos on phones is a real big fucking pain in the ass. So I had to find an app that would remove backgrounds. And when I downloaded the app on my new Apple iOS, whatever the fuck it was, I got an internet security breach warning. I'm like, what the fuck? And I have a tech wizard. We have a Mensa genius, Microsoft certified programming son in the family. I don't even fucking understand what he does. I just send him my fucking problems, and then he told me, he said, oh, you're going to have to go in and reset your router. Sure. Anybody fucking knows that. I'll just go in and reset my router. None of you fuckers out there probably knows how to go in there and reset your router. You don't even know. It's not like a switch. You got to go online and put in the fucking code. You have to know what fucking router you have, and you have to have an administrator's password. And if you don't know what it is, you can't just fucking make one up. It's not like resetting a fucking Gmail password. So I want to, somehow, I had my router password. Don't ask me how. I just fucking did. And I went in there and I changed it, and then that's when I found out all my Ethernet cords were 9,000 fucking years old. And the reason that I found out about all this shit brings me back to why I need a MacBook Pro. If I have a picture in this phone and I want to get it onto an iPad or a different phone, I can email it or text it, and that's big fucking, the files are too big, or I can airdrop it. Now, I try to airdrop my Bernie Sanders, where is he? I try to airdrop my Bernie Sanders from my phone to my iPad. Where the fuck is he? Okay, so that's all I want to do. I want to take this Bernie Sanders out of this phone, are you with me? And get it into this iPad over here where I said I promised I would read the chat with you, but I'm lying because I don't hardly ever read the chat. It's AirDrop. So then my devices all have names. This one is cleverly named Amish's iPhone. My iPad's name is Loyal. That's from the Wheel of Time. Read and find out about it. That's not worthy of the story. So the phone would say, waiting for Loyal. And Loyal was fucking right there. Fucking 2 inches away. Fucking Loyal, 2 inches away from Amish's iPhone, and it couldn't fucking find it. So that's why I had to go in and find out that my router had to be reset, and fuck me in a bucket of goo. It doesn't sound like much, but this started, I think, yesterday. I only just started this yesterday. I think I have already created 487,000 Bernie Sanders memes. He is now in every one of our fucking vacation pictures. I'm putting him on fucking, he went to Ireland with us. He's fucking sitting on the set here tonight. He's everywhere. He's in movies. He's fucking everywhere. And if you need me to put a Bernie Sanders in a picture for you, fuck it. Just send it to me somehow, and I'll throw Bernie Sanders in there. And and like for family too, I'm resizing them and putting them different places. How is that, motherfucker? So that's how I spent most of yesterday and a small chunk of today. And Smart Money says I will be doing it again tonight. But had I not tried to make Bernie Sanders memes, I never would have been aware that my internet had a security breach and my Ethernet cords were tired old whores. So thank you, old man in chair with mittens, for your technological wisdom. Fuck me. Now, all right, that's the boom roasted. Let's see. Okay. I'm done with that sheet, but I'm not tearing it off. I want to do something now that I did last week, but I didn't do it properly. So I want to redo it. So it's definitely a rerun. You're going to hear a lot of reruns. It's something about it's not really seasonal, but it's baseball. It has always pissed me off. Is that umpire when he did the strike calls, like the first two, if the batter don't swing at it, that's important to the story. If the batter don't swing at strike one, the umpire's just like a little. He doesn't even say strike. And then the pitcher knows, okay, the batter doesn't like that pitch that I threw, but the umpire does. So I'm going to throw a second one, the exact same spot, where the batter doesn't like it, and the umpire will go, phew, and then the batter's starting to get a little pissed off, and there's 2 outs. You got to understand that. And then the pitcher throws a waster over that way, so that's the ball, and then he throws another pitch right where the first 2 went, and then instead of just going, phew, the umpire does, hoo, and his hip comes up, and his knee comes up in the air, and he does this power slam, and he screams, and suddenly he can say strike in 9 different fucking languages, and the arm comes down, and he's doing a modern interpretive dance, and the fucking batter's standing there, he's all fucking pissed off, and the part that I forgot to tell you about was, because it was the 3rd out, the team on the field is all happy because he just fucking struck that guy out looking, and and the umpire's taunting him. Hey, it was a strike. I told you it was a strike. It was right where the first 2 went. I called them strikes. You should have fucking known if they went there a 3rd time, I would call that a fucking strike. What the fuck's wrong with you? You shouldn't be surprised. You know the way I see things, that's a fucking strike. And the whole team runs off, right? They all run off, and the batter stands there because he can't fucking believe it. And then his team is now running out on the field. The umpire's 10 feet away because he doesn't want to hear him say, what the fuck wrong with you? So the batter is standing all by himself, sadly, in the batter's box, in complete shock and dismay. He's not going back in the dugout, and he's not even going out on the field. He's standing there, completely alone, depending on what stadium he is in. He's either being booed or cheered. And then, I don't know how they decided, but some sorry son of a bitch has to bring him his glove. And I'm probably guessing nobody really wants that job, but that's how he understands what's going on. Someone will come out and hand him his glove and then point him out that way. Now, the part that I forgot last week wasn't really that extra special that warranted me doing the whole thing over again, but it drove me fucking crazy because I like that when they run off and he's standing there all by himself in the box of shame. It's kind of fucking badass. I gotta dark this screen because Bernie keeps staring at me from his chair. Alright, so we got that. Okay, this also brings me to, I'm back to my own fundraising here. I haven't done it yet, but I want to do a Patreon. Now, Patreon is basically crowdfunding, is what they call it. It's fan-funded for entertainers. The entertainment industry, there's mixed feelings about it. Some say it's horrible, it's the worst thing ever, and still others say it's the fans are helping fund projects, and it's badass. And so if you ever did one of those, and let's say it's like a record, and the record comes out, and you go, oh my God, I helped create this fucking record. But more importantly, what Patreon does is for big stars, not me, is it stops them from coughing during their live stream. Fan-funded Patreon allows artists to create without the hook of the corporate sales pitch dictating what they do. So the Patreon fan-funded people, those artists get to create whatever the fuck they want for their fans. And why that's important to me is back in the days when that shit didn't exist, and especially bands would have to sign with a big label, they would be under the claw of what that big label wanted that band to do. My friend Chris Barron, Spin Doctors, he talked about it. He said, you have your whole life to write your first record, and you have 6 months to write your second record. That's a fucking frightening idea. So the record industry wanted Queen to dump Freddie Mercury. That was the deal. We love you. You're amazing. Singer, he's got to fucking go. He's a weird motherfucker. You got to get rid of him. And Queen's like, fuck you, man. That's who Queen is. That's Freddie Mercury. Same thing happened with the Rolling Stones. Geniuses at the record industry said, you guys rock hard. Mick Jagger's got to go. I probably told you about this last week, but I'm not sane and I am not stable right now. I should have probably tagged that on to the umpire baseball bit. This is Patreon coming soon. This I'm totally gonna fuck up. I have playlists that make me happy, and I love Irish music. And there's an Irish folk song came on, and it's Irish music. It's impossible for it to be depressing. I can't do an Irish accent without 19 minutes of deep thought. But I love this song. I listen to it, and then I finally listen to the lyrics, and the lyrics are so damn depressing, but it's sung in a happy, fun kind of. Broadway does it all the time. I'll make some notes here because I don't use my cheater notes on this song. I'll never get it right. So the song was basically you can find it on Spotify. Santiana, that's what it is. Away, Santiana, a shark ate both his legs. No time to bury him. Away, Santiana. Oh, a shark. Away, Santiana. A shark ate both his legs that day. Away, Santiago. No time to bury him properly. Away, Santiana. So we dropped him off on the shores of the beach. Away, Santiana. He was a cook, so we starved to death. Away, Santiana. We drew straws to see who'd tell his wife. Away, Santiana. I put mine back 'cause I fucked his wife. I'm not gonna tell her, Santiana. It's a great song. It's depressing as hell, but it's fun. And that's kind of like how my live stream show is, isn't it? Let's see here. Oh, again, in keeping with this tells you how nuts I am. Get my mind off all this political shit. I finally started to watch West Wing. Now this is the dumbest idea I ever had, and it's basically starts in 1999. And then it's in 2000, it runs over those years. And it's a fictitious president. Insert your own joke there, but not in my chat. But it's about the people who work in the White House. Not just the politicians, but it's everybody. It's the whole mishmash. It's everybody. It's their duties. And it's when the president wakes up, and then shit has to happen, and then he has a kid that has to wake him up, and he don't get up, and then he yells at the fucking kid. It's absolutely incredible, but it's based on the reality of how those people lived if you were working in the White House as part of this team. And what makes me laugh in the scope of what shit is happening here today is... Now wait, Bill Bumps is going to tell me my show is over. Alexa, stop! So the press conference lady had to get an emergency root canal, so she couldn't do that. She was talking like Elmer Fudd. Oh, we're wasking away at the White House. So I'm laughing my balls off. So the person that they got to fill in was a dick, and he never should have fucking done it, and he just fucking crumbled. Then they had to go tell the president, the fictitious one, what the dumbass fucking said. So he told them that the president had a secret plan to fix inflation. That's what he told them. The president is working. He has a secret plan to fix inflation. And then the next question, don't you think if the president has a plan to fix inflation that it's kind of terrible of him to keep it a secret? And he goes, yes. Yes, I do. So he didn't have a fucking clue what he was saying. So then he had to go, and when 3 other knuckleheads had to go tell the president, this was fucking scandalous. Beyond my ability to comprehend. By today's standards, it wouldn't have even been a fucking thing. That's what melts my fucking brain. So they had to all line up to nitwits and tell the president, and he says, we have some news that is, then he couldn't think of the right word, and the guy next to him said, catastrophic. He said, no, it's not that. So this went on. He said, well, she couldn't give a press conference. Well, who gave it? And then they went, him. And the president went, oh, fuck. So, West Wing, check it out if you want to get away from all the politics and then get back into politics. So, that's a fun story right there. But it's fun to see what is upsetting and scandalous then compared to now. Oh my God, it wouldn't even be a thing. So there we go with that. You see my notes, how effective they are here is because my next thing that I'm supposed to talk about is resetting the security settings on my router. And I believe I covered that on a page that it wasn't on. So let's move on from there. Let's see what else we're going to talk about here. Look at all these people in the chat. I'm gonna see these tonight. I'm definitely gonna see them. When you folks donate, it means the world to us. It's fun to watch the donations come in. Again, best way to donate is through PayPal, but Super Chat is fun too. I haven't figured out how to turn that off, so I get to keep all the money. But something's weird happening. Just once I get better Ethernet cords, all right, that'll be the thing going on there. I keep thinking that I have something amazing to tell you, and I don't. I just don't have a clue what it is. So I am getting ready to wrap this up. But are there any? If anybody's still in there, are there any questions? Any questions in the chat here? Anyone? Let's see. New song for Shark Week. That's good right there. Super Chat is off. That's actually good. Thank you. Whoever said it, that's good. And I'll tell you for why. Super Chat keeps too much of the money. And it takes a long time for them to pay me. I think I had it on accidentally last week.
Somebody said, I haven't heard you on the Keith show lately.
I was on the Keith show just on Thursday. So it should be back to every Thursday. I know I'm not really supposed to say that Keith goes on vacation. Why wouldn't he have a fucking vacation, all right? So if I'm not on for a while, or we sometimes have scheduling problems, him and I. But I'm back on. I was on Thursday. I kind of think you can go on to the Keith Show page and he podcasts. Is that what it is? He podcasts things. So that's kind of assholeish because you can just go back to the Keith Show and just hear the parts that were about me. And I'm such a dick. I heard myself on the radio because it was a thing that we had recorded. And then I texted Keith and I said, hey, I just heard me on the radio, which really made me sound like a douchebag because I actually technically heard him on the radio too, but I only told him that I heard me. That tells you how much of a dick I am. So, yeah, it's back on the radio there. Crying out loud. Oh, I have more to... Just wait here because if you... The show's technically over, so if you have anywhere to go, just fucking go. But I have some more notes over here. I can't trip over this shit here. Hang on. I'm still here. Now there'll be dead air. I don't really care. I'm only going to make one trip over here. Let's see if I got that. And that's not the notes I wanted. These are the notes I wanted. Here we go here. There we go here. Flipping around here. Now back in here. So, here's a fun story I'll tell you, and I got to keep names out. So, the Zoom I did last night, I know a bunch of these comedians talked to him about that before. By virtue of we worked in the same places over the years and recognized headshots, but the one guy seemed like he was hiding from me, right? And I thought it was just in my imagination. And then when I went and I saw the replay, it's really somebody who dicked me over in the business and offered me really shitty money. He's a comedian and he books some other room, no names. And another friend who runs the club that he has half ownership in hounded me to contact him to get work in the southern clubs. And so I said I got a hold of him, and it was actually like the shittiest offer I've been given in 30 years in show business. I actually made better money when I first fucking started out. But that guy who read the email was the same guy who gave me the shitty offer because he has some sort of controllership of that room, and I didn't fucking know. And then he cocked off to me in the message, and he said, "Hey, I'm the guy that gave you that shitty offer, just so you know." I'm like, "Well, you're also the guy who pretended to be someone else in this fucking email, and that makes you the dick that I thought you were." So he was in the Zoom last night hiding from me. I'm sure he was hoping that I wouldn't remember, because these Zoom shows are all comedians telling stories about people in the business who fucked us over. And he's in this part of the screen looking at that part of the screen going, "Oh, I hope he doesn't fucking remember that I'm one of them fucking assholes that we're telling stories about that really fucked us over in the business." And he's lucky that I didn't recognize him, because I absolutely would. There's that. I ran over to get notes to tell you some things that are on my notes, and that wasn't even on my notes. So there you go. There's that. Again, as I glanced down at the chat, these are the same people who carried my wife and I through the fucking pandemic. And we can't begin to thank you. There's people that post that they're sorry, they wish they could give money. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. If you can give money, that's fantastic. But if you can't, don't have any fucking guilt at all. Just take the enjoyment and know that I know if you could help out, you would help out. I wouldn't want people to sit there and going, "I feel like a dick because I can't give any money." That's not what this is about. I want you to have a place to come when you got nowhere to go, which is kind of my living room, which kind of makes me a dick because none of you are really invited over to my living room because we ain't fucking seeing people at all. So that is something I feel strongly about, and I want to make sure you knew that that's not a problem. And perhaps you know somebody in your family that you could guilt them into donating money, and then that would kind of even things out. I don't really care one way or the next. So let me peek at my notes here and see if there's anything else that I want to cover before I get out of Dodge. Notes. And see, I'm peeking in the chat here. It's all stuff that I've told you before, so I don't really have anything all that exciting to tell you. What pissed me off last night, though, when they cut my show short, was my big... Are you with me? You guys are with me. Of course you're with me. I blocked my show out. And to do a show, I love doing it, but this isn't here all the time, so I got to set this up. I have to look fabulous. My wife gives me a little bit of makeup so the lights don't wash you out. I figure out what I'm going to perform and the amount of time that I have to perform it, and the amount of time that I'm given decides what material that I will pick. So for this 30-minute set that I had last night, I had crafted for them to enjoy mustard on my cheeseburger with the big McFucking Donald's finale, and they cut me off before the McDonald's finale. Where's the justice? Where's the justice? Let's see here. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. I do need a big finish. That's why I need some kind of. Oh, I know. Random shout out, and I've been promising to do this for a while. This is for Mrs. Keith from the Keith Moore from ZZO. This is dedicated to Mrs. Keith. If she sees this, she'll know exactly what it's for. Son of a bitch, bastard, motherfucker, douchebag, asshole, shit for brains, scrapple sucking, masturbating, fucking Mennonites, bat shit balls, fuck you, and a bucket of goo, and 19 other fucking curse words. I love you. Stay safe. I'll see you next week. I'll try to do a couple of random live somethings. I'm going to actually read when I'm done because I am old and boring. And I also don't know how to turn off my live stream. Slide. Look at, now I got a keyboard. I don't want that.